So as of midnight, the new Jeremy Saulnier film dropped on Netflix. Now I'm a big Saulnier fan. I was a really big fan of Murder Party when it was released. Then a few, like 5 years later or so, we got Blue Ruin, which I was a big fan of as well. And then right after that, a couple years later, we got Green Room with Anton Yelchin. And anytime you mix punk rock with horror elements, you got my attention. That movie's rad. Although Murder Party had always stayed my favorite of his films. I'm not sure why. Personal preference, I suppose, because I know that Blue Ruin and Green Room are better films. Now, he's also got True Detective season 3 coming up, but he dropped out of that after 2 episodes because of creative differences, is what I saw, which is such a shame, honestly, because I really wanted to see a full Saulnier season. So we'll see what happens. I know season 2 was a big wash for almost everybody. And when I saw Saulnier was on board, I was like, oh, this is exciting. He might be able to revitalize what was achieved in the first season that Carrie had done. But anyways, let's focus on this film. So Hold the Dark is a film starring Jeffrey Wright, Alexander Skarsgård, and the dude who plays Chase in 24 season 3, right? Big 24 fan. I can't remember his name, like James Badge Dale or something like that. Anyways, now I definitely do not think that this film is for everybody. No doubt about it. The plot is very, very thin. And that's not a bad thing. I really personally enjoyed the film, and I do think that if you're a Saulnier fan, if you understand his style, if the way he does films, especially like Blue Ruin or something, I think this is a film you'll really enjoy. It takes any kind of expectations that people would have from typical cookie cutter Hollywood films and completely flips them on their head. Nothing is going to go the way that you think it's going to go, and probably not the way you want it to go a lot of the times. It really, really reminded me of Wind River a good amount. So I think if you're a big fan of Wind River, you might really enjoy this. The performances from everyone are really good. Much like with most Saulnier films, especially the last 2 that he made, the film is a pretty damn slow burn, with just, out of nowhere, extreme, violent, gore-filled moments. I mean, there are some tense ass scenes. There is a couple what the fuck moments in this. Towards the beginning, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, and then as I said, then they just kind of out of nowhere, they throw in some big like, and you're just, lots of gore and lots of realism when it comes to the violence in this, which I always appreciate. I do think that there will be a lot of people who will criticize the shit out of this film by saying that it has no plot, that characters are pointless, that the film doesn't really go anywhere, that there's nothing resolved, that there's nothing like, and I totally understand those criticisms. But I am a big fan of Saulnier's work. I like his style. It just, he has this way of taking, these scenes that have almost no dialogue, and they are extremely slow, but he can make them so tense, and then he can, make these other scenes which seem to just be plodding along, and you're kind of like waiting, and you're waiting, and you're kind of like, all right, here we go, and then boom, like the fucking screen explodes, and you're just in this tense 5-minute long craziness. I don't want to say much about the film. As I said, if I even revealed the synopsis, it would give away what little plot there really is. You're here more for style. You're here more for something different. I mean, it's a fairly different film, but it's hard. It's not going to be for mainstream cinema fans. That's just, and that's okay. I think that's good, but I think this will be a very misunderstood film, and it's going to get criticized for all the things I had already said. So anyway, guys, I don't know if you're big Sollner fans, if you're familiar with his work, if you like Green Room or Blue Ruin or Murder Party. What's your favorite of the three that I had just mentioned? What are your expectations with this one? Have you seen it yet? I mean, I got to be one of the only people who's already watched the damn thing. But yeah, I dug it. I dug it because I like films that are unpredictable. I like films where I can't figure what the fuck is going on in a moment, but it isn't so blown over the top that I feel like it's, being weird for weird's sake or something like that. I never really felt like that during this movie. But man, it is graphic and intense in moments. If you have an issue with people being shot and it looking gruesomely real, like many times throughout the film, you might definitely want to skip this. And if you're looking for any like straight A, B, and C kind of plot, I definitely would skip this as well. It is a slow burn, and this is a tough one. This is a tough one to review because I don't know exactly what audience this is going to cater to. I know what I like, and it worked for me, but it's a film I can definitely see being hated by a lot of people. So I am looking forward to seeing what all you guys have to say. Other than that, you guys have a great night. Adios. Also, really quick, I had totally forgotten. I had already recorded my review and I walked in the house. I had promised a fan of mine called The Dove, that's the only name I got from him, that I would give him a shout out. He sent me a short little video that him and his friend made, and I thought that was pretty cool. I always like when you guys share stuff with me. So, hey buddy, thanks for the video. And yeah, I always love to hear from you guys. I always love to get little, fan-made films and shorts that you guys made. I dig checking that kind of stuff out. So thanks for sending me the video. All right, for real, good night.